We are at a spooky and haunted park, or is it? Let's find it out. The Peñalver or Negripoleta Park is one full of nature. Actually, it's one of the few greenery sites in Carabobo, Venezuela. And most people come by to exercise, play a sport, or just simply to hang around and enjoy themselves. The park's construction began in 1992 and was finally culminated in 1996. The park is divided into two main sections. The first section is called the Peñalver Park, and the second section is called the Negripoleta Park, and it was named after two great heroes of the country. The first part is the upper part, which is Fernando Peñalver one, and the lower part is the Negripoleta part, as you can see on the picture. The park itself has a lot of history in it, so much so that in this video we're gonna explore the spooky side of it. So let's dive right in. Apart from its beautiful scenery, the park has a lot of dark history in it. In fact, over the years there have been numerous cases of reportedly ghosts roaming around the park, and apart from that, of people being murdered in the park. Some of them may be fake and some of them may actually be real. What do you think? Oh, look at the stable! Actually, it said that inside that stable a man hung himself a couple of years ago, and that may be the reason why afterwards all rangers suddenly quit. Only the police patrol around the park, but there's no sign of rangers around, as you'll see throughout the video. But let's keep on walking! Later on I will tell you about the man's story, so don't worry, we'll get to the part. Look at that halfway, it looks kind of murky. Well, it suits our video today, so let's dive right into. This highway, as you can see, is basically the entrance to a much larger forest, and there are several places to go within the forest, like the playground on the right or a mini lake further ahead the left. But undoubtedly, the spookiest of all sceneries is that of the Virgin. Though the place looks stunning, the statue itself may give you some goosebumps all over your body. Well, time to pay respect before heading to our next destination. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot about the paintings over there. I'm gonna give you a closer view of them. Let's go there. Putting the spooky side aside, because they certainly are, they look kind of worn out due to rain and the poor care they receive nowadays. And that house standing over there is where the Rangers used to stay in, which, by the way, reminds me of the man's story. Well, to be honest, I actually had a friend who told me this, and that friend worked here for a while as a ranger as well. And she told me that the man was an old ranger of the park, and the other rangers knew him very well since he had years working there. The motives of this suicide are unknown because he didn't have any family left. Then one time, without anybody noticing, he went to the barn that I showed you at the beginning where the stables are located, and he took a rope and hung himself right there in front of the door of the barn. A younger ranger found his body the next morning, and from then on it was said that the rangers of the night shift could hear some steps and things moving in and out the barn. And in the day, things would sometimes move from the position they were left. Also, since that day, the amount of rangers working in the park slowly decreased until they were no more. And some say that it was because the park was haunted. My friend told me that story was actually true, because she didn't witness it herself, but she was told by some of her colleagues at the moment. To be honest, I'm kind of a skeptical person, but after having heard that from a really close friend, a trustworthy one, I am not sure what to think about it now. What about you? Let me know down in the comments. What do you think about what happened? Do you think it's true? Or maybe a myth to attract more people to visit the park? I tried to open the door of the house of the settlement and it was locked from the inside. So as you can see on the outside, it looks completely uninhabited and abandoned. Well, now let's walk him back to where we come from, but through the Negripolitas side of the park. This side of the park was the Fernando Peñalver side, and the other is gonna be the Negripolitas one. So let's go. Wow, look at the statues. In all the years that I've been coming here, I've never noticed those. The first statue is of Simon Bolivar, the liberator of Venezuela, and Fernando Peñalver, after which the park was named. For the head, we come across Negripolita's statue as well, after which the other part of the park was named. And this playground is awesome. So many memories are flowing in my mind right now. This recreation space has been part of the park since I have memory, and it's meant for anyone with a bike or skates to ride around and feel as if they were riding on the road. Over here, we find the snack section as well. Well, now you may wonder, how come the park is so lonely? Well, due to COVID, the park is only open during open weeks, which I have already talked about in my last video. So the further I walked, the more lonely I found it. Look, more abandoned buildings ahead. And this part over here, wow, it looks like brought out of a Japanese movie. Some huts to enjoy the moment with friends and family. The scenery around it is stunning. And last but not least, this outdoor gym, which generally is crowded, or at least it was before the pandemic. What the? That bench is merged with the tree. So strange. In fact, researching a little bit more about that, I found several eerie stories about this bench and the tree together, and I leave them over here around the video. They're all in Spanish, so if you don't know Spanish, learn it, or at least translate it on Google. Anyway guys, that was all for the video. If you really liked it, please hit subscribe and the like button, and I will see you on the next one.